Hello, everyone, and welcome to Castlevania discussions with my guest, Castlevania Nigel, and none other than Stone Cold Loki. How you doing tonight?
How are you doing, man?
Oh,
Greetings, it's a horrible night to have a curse.
yes, it is. Indeed, it is. And
What is a
look,
man but a miserable pile of secrets?
I was about to go there, but I'm glad you did it. That sounded real good right there. A man. You mean a Belmont?
Just remember, the only thing evil needs to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
Ooh, nice quote.
Alucard, quoting the guy that really made that quote.
I've come to end this. Still befriending mortals.
Die, monster, you don't belong in this world.
I was about to do the horrible voiceover on that one. It's like,
It is not by my hand that I was once again given flesh.
die, monster! You don't belong in this world.
I actually prefer that to what they did with the redo, the reimagine, or the whatever, the HD. I prefer the original. I'll play my Sony copy, my PlayStation.
Oh, I 100% agree.
So, Loki, what is your experience with Castlevania?
Well, of course, I started out on the original Nintendo. It's one of the first games I ever had was Castlevania. Metal Gear. I had Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Metal Gear, and Castlevania. Were like the first three games, that I ever had. So of course I loved Castlevania. There was a little pizza place down the road that had like the tabletop.
Oh, okay.
You know those little bar stool ones, the bar tab arcade ones. You had to like look down on the flat screen.
Oh, I've seen those. I've seen those with like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, but I've never seen those with Castlevania before. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Was it versus Castlevania then? The same, like similar to the NES version, but only in an arcade format?
Yeah, and you could play two players and you took turns. Every time someone died, you take a turn playing.
Awesome.
Well, that's cool. Mine was actually my first experience was actually the original Castlevania on a Play Choice 10. I didn't get my Castlevania copy till Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest actually came out.
Oh wow.
At Christmas. I got both of them on Christmas and I played the purple shit out of both of them. But I can't tell you how many quarters I popped into that damn Play Choice 10.
Well, the arcade one always looked better. I was kind of pissed off when I got the Nintendo version because I was like, man, it doesn't look as good as the one down at the pizza place.
But speaking of pizza places, I did actually encounter an actual standing Castlevania cabinet at my local pizza place. And yeah, I put that one too. And I was sad when they took that cabinet out.
Pizza Hut?
No, it was actually called Tasillo's Pizza, and it was kind of like a bar and grill. They had widescreen TVs in the back part of it where they showed like football games and stuff. But they had this little arcade area, and they had a Castlevania cabinet in the back area.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, my first experience was just renting the Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest from the old Blockbuster as a kid. And then I hadn't played the original until later, a couple of years later, actually.
So Simon's Quest was your first one. That's cool.
Yeah. And it was the talk of the neighborhood because all the kids in the hood didn't know how to do it. And neither did I, of course, because I was a very small kid.
But you figured it out, didn't you?
I wish I had that claim to fame. No, I didn't really play it through to completion until I was like a young adult, so it was much later.
No, it was Hester Belmont that figured that one out. I was like the only kid on the block that didn't call the Nintendo Power hotline or waited for the Nintendo Power guy to come out to give you a dang map for it and give you clues.
That
Oh
was
yeah,
something they did back in the day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they did.
extortion to get their magazine. Yeah, actually, now that you bring that up, that reminds me. I did beat it as a kid, but it was like 10 years later, so I was like a little older of a kid, and I had received for Christmas this Nintendo Power video game atlas that had a bunch of NES games mapped out in it, and so I had to like scroll, you know, skim through all these pages to figure out how to get through that game.
Well, that's a heck of a tale. Let's see. What were your experiences on Castlevania 3, Loki?
That was my favorite because that introduced Alucard and it went back to the old system, the old original system, but they expanded it so you can pick different routes, pick up different companions for your quest. I remember everybody was always arguing with me about what was better, the thief or because nobody liked the ghost for some reason back then.
What,
The thief
Sypha?
or or Alucard, and I was like, I'm going with the Alucard, man. Alucard's badass. Always like that because it was
Okay.
like you think you're getting to Dracula, but no, you don't get to Dracula. You take him out, and oh, he's just going to be an ally.
Sypha and Grant are the hardest to beat it with, in my opinion. My I had the hardest time beating it with Grant Dynasty, the thief, and Sypha. I had it's the way she is. She's useless without hearts, basically. If she don't have magic, she's terrible.
I
But
used to always think Grant Dynasty was a pirate because he kind of had a rag on his head.
he does have that pirate vibe, kind of like a pirate ship. But I think he was a pirate at one point in time, according to the lore. It's unsaid in the manuals, but I think it is in the Castlevania wiki.
But yeah, I like Loki. Also, would always choose Alucard. That's the best way to go in that game is pick up Alucard.
You get the best ending with Sypha, though.
Does it reveal that she is a pretty woman, like the end of Metroid?
Actually, yeah, it reveals that she even has long golden hair.
That is probably the best ending then. Did you guys know that Alucard is Dracula spelled backwards?
That's okay, Captain Obvious.
The mirror version of Dracula.
Hey Nigel, what is your quest?
Oh, Nigel's Quest
Yes, Nigel's quest.
2020.
Yes, 2020.
Well, let's just put it like this. See, Dracula is responsible for all bad things in this world, especially this year. So I'm on a quest to beat him in every single Castlevania game. And once I do that, things will be put right back right and normal again.
That's pretty cool.
There's only one thing really stopping you, though. All those games, and then there's me. Oh, you'll never get through.
What the
Nigel.
heck? Hey, that's me. What the?
You will never get through until you beat yourself.
Wait a second. Who is that? Who's doing this? Oh no. So let's just put it like this. I've got 8 more games to play, but some of them are in progress. And if I don't do that before the end, 11:59 p.m., October 31st, 2020, Dracula wins and takes over the whole world.
Let me
Might be,
guess. Let me
Could
guess.
be.
The castle reappears and all goes to crap.
That's right. Dracula is resurrected, and
Like total mass hysteria. Dogs and cats living together. Blood in the streets.
definitely that.
Raining fire. The whole
In
9
fact,
yards.
it's gonna be like when Dracula said at the end of Symphony of the Night, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul?" Of course, he says that sarcasm, Matthew 16:26.
Yeah. I do
He
remember.
does like quoting. That's
He
why.
does.
That's why I really liked the Lords of Shadow, because it kind of. Why does Dracula know all this so well? Why is it that only Belmonts can defeat Dracula? And why could Alucard do it if only Belmonts are destined to do it? Well, Alucard's a Belmont, and Dracula's a Belmont. And it all makes sense if you go back to the beginning and you make Dracula a Belmont. I always loved Hideo's creativeness for going, you know what, I'm going to flip this on its head. What if the very first Belmont, Gabriel Belmont, actually is Dracula? Then the whole curse and the Belmont lineage, and only the Belmont and the Warriors of Light, because Dracula was a warrior of light. He was God's chosen.
Yeah, I agree, Loki. That's a fascinating aspect of the Lords of the Shadow spin-off alternate universe Castlevania. And I really enjoy the lore that they created in that. It just makes a lot of sense the way they presented it.
Well, I have a different opinion on that, actually. I kind of actually hated that aspect, that whole Alucard being a Belmont for a while, until I actually heard Loki talk about it. And then I was like, okay, all right. That actually makes sense now.
Yeah, he's Trevor. He's Trevor from the first game. And he teams up with what's his name? No, it's Trevor, isn't it? It's just Trevor again, right? In 3?
Yeah, Trevor, actually Castlevania 3 was actually, yes, the prequel. Yes, timeline's weird. Go figure. It's Castlevania.
Well, and they kept doing prequels, so that was the first prequel. Then they decided to do another prequel in Castlevania Legends, which was taken out of canon, and then again with Castlevania Lament of Innocence. So they kept wanting to, have a starting point for the original timeline, but
I do like Lament of Innocence. The whole Leon Belmont and the whole, especially how Ronaldo Gandolfi actually helped create the whip, because it was originally just imbued with alchemy. But then, with the help of Ronaldo and the sacrifice of Leon Belmont's wife, that she was a vampire, it became the vampire's bane, the vampire killer.
What was the game with the blacksmith? Was that on 360? Was that on Xbox or Xbox 360? There was one where you play as
the Devil Forge Master?
Yes.
That would be Castlevania Curse of Darkness. That had Hector.
Yes. Hector.
And Hector can also collect chairs in that game, including a toilet seat for whatever odd reason.
I don't question Japanese culture.
Yeah, well, I think it's cool. But there's actually this Twitter account dedicated to that game. I think it's a bot. And it will, if you follow it, it reminds you to play Castlevania Curse of Darkness like every hour. It's so funny.
Oh, yeah. I think I actually followed that bot, and now I'm highly regretting it.
It's worth checking out. It's kind of funny. But yeah, that's the Devil Forge Master one. That's a good one. I enjoy that game.
But yeah, the timeline is really weird. What place did Leon Belmont take in? Do you remember, Nigel or Loki? Because Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's but only because I recently played it. It's the very first game in the timeline, and it takes place in the 11th century.
Ooh.
So very medieval.
And that starts off the whole thing. I think but when you get back to that's why I say it's almost like a reboot, the Lords of Shadow, because it just throws the whole Leon Belmont with Matthias being Dracula out the window.
Correct. It is a clean reboot. However, they do name drop a lot of people throughout Lords of Shadow. So they name drop Ronaldo Gandolfi, the alchemist, and others throughout. But they have different roles in the Lords of Shadow version, different parts of the story to play. Both are enjoyable. I mean, I like Lords of Shadow, and I do like how they kind of make him a Belmont at that point, Dracula, that is.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe we should go about some more of the history, but I think I don't know where we'd actually start because especially since we mentioned the whole Lords of Shadow being a reboot, and I don't know if we could actually. I don't know how to go off of that because I did. Yeah, I believe I put that in there because of this comment.
Oh yeah. Well, so Loki, did you make that intro?
Yes.
That's very well done. I like
Thank
the
you.
editing of the Symphony of the Night music with the. Is that footage from the trailer of Lords of Shadow 2?
Yeah, that is footage from the trailer for Lords of Shadow 2 and of course Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night was always my favorite.
What
Yeah.
track was that off of the Symphony of the Night soundtrack? Because I know you probably used that vinyl to do that.
No, actually I didn't. That is, give me just a second, and I'll tell you.
Well, don't break anything.
I do remember when that Lords of Shadow trailer dropped. I was so stoked. I could not wait. It like gave me the chills because how awesome it looked with the full on Dracula mode for Lords of Shadow 2.
That is Metamorphosis.
Yeah, I thought that was Metamorphosis, but I wasn't sure. I thought I'd double check with you. It's a great track. Symphony of the Night had probably some of the best music, but some of the most iconic and classic music comes from either Symphony of the Night or the first two.
Yeah, like that track Bloody Tears. They have remade Bloody Tears in like every other game since then from 2.
Or even some of the tracks even have an iteration of part of Bloody Tears in it just for good measure.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the original Castlevania first stage music, Vampire Killer.
But I agree with Loki. I would, if I had to pick one Castlevania game above them all, it would be Symphony of the Night for sure.
Yeah, but that's a good one. That is a real good one, and probably the most popular answer. However, I'm not one to cater to mainstream popular opinion. So yeah, mine is totally different.
Well, what is it?
And you're probably like, yeah, exactly. What is it? Well, mine is actually, believe it or not, Order of Ecclesia. I liked Order of Ecclesia a lot.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's a good one. I get killed in that one a lot, though, especially at the beginning.
Oh, that first bit is a pain in the butt unless you do some grinding.
It's a good game, though, for sure.
I love Shanoa. Shanoa's awesome, and I I was talking to this one girl in my neighborhood. She said she was a big fan of Castlevania. She said she was gonna save up the money to get a Dominus tattoo on her back,
Really?
just like Shanoa.
My
And
God.
to this day, I never got the chance to talk to her or see if she actually got it done.
I thought I was a hardcore Castlevania fan.
Yeah. Now that's hardcore. Now if I could find that actually, I do have some pictures of Shanoa with the Dominus logo on on her back. So maybe I can actually pull one of those puppies up and show it.
What's interesting to me is that Shinoa kind of got rebooted herself when Koji Igarashi left Konami and he made Bloodstained. I feel like the character in Bloodstained, I forget her name now, is basically Shinoa 2.0.
Oh yes, without a doubt, I could agree with that. Considering I before uh before I started having internet problems and whatnot, I was playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Really glad that those Bloodstained games were made, but I do wish they could incorporate them within the Castlevania universe.
And I don't know if everybody in the chat knows that, but Koji Igarashi was really hard programmer into Symphony of the Night on up, I believe, maybe even Castlevania 3. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, either of you.
I can't remember where he started, but you're right. His main breakthrough was Symphony of the Night. I'm going to look that up because I'm curious now.
Loki,
Yeah.
am I right about those, or
I'm pretty sure you are. Let's see, music tracks for.
Yeah, so he received a credit for special thanks on Rondo of Blood as his earliest game in the series, I guess. But his main credit that was first, according to the Castlevania Wikipedia anyway, is assistant director, programmer, scenario writer on Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
and there's no way that's going to be wrong because that's all are all hardcore Castlevania fans. Why would they
Yeah,
write
and then
something bad?
right, exactly. And then from there he was
Kia Club. Yeah.
he became series producer from there on out and until Harmony of Despair was his last game.
I'm sure they got even people from Konami overlooking that shit too.
Well, this was Furukawa and Mickey and Makuri. There were more members, but at the time, I'm trying to look at exactly when because it doesn't have all the dates on all of these. The Konami Club goes back further than just Symphony of the Night. So you had these designers and sound designers that were with the Konami Kukaiya Club.
Doesn't it go back to the Gradius days even?
The Square Wave Club that they were using in the chiptunes in the 1980s.
Hello, everybody in the chat. Let's greet everybody. Hello, Lady Mist. Hello, Parrot Head, Captain Trek, Butterflies, Dave Bob, Jennifer Conkle. Oh, that. Oh, wait. You're here and there. Oh, hey, that Nigel movie guy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi to the chat in the chat, I guess.
Yeah. It's a habit. Speaker of the Dead. Hey, how you doing? Angelus Draven, thanks. Oh, Purple Valkyrie actually made it. Hello. Thank you for coming. Well, I'm glad. Did you find it, Loki?
No, I'm still looking. All they've got on here is Harmony of Despair, and I know it goes back a lot
I
further back than.
Speaking of Harmony of Despair, did you actually find that fun? Did you actually play that?
I did, but I don't remember much about it. I've played almost every single one of these games because I'm a Castlevania nut like that.
Do you guys have Xboxes by chance?
Yes.
It's $15 to play Harmony of Despair, and I've got a bunch of friends that have been following the Castlevania cast playing it. So if you're interested to play with us, Harmony of Despair is great fun for a Castlevania fan. It's a multiplayer online.
Gradius, yeah. They did the Gradius soundtrack. They did Gradius 2.
Which was Life Force in the US.
Super Contra. Salamander. Damn.
Yeah. I bet you didn't even know Salamander was a Gradius game, sort of.
Gradius 3. All the first 3 Castlevania games. There's at least Solid Snake, Metal Gear. So yeah, this goes back through the original Metal Gear, Gradius.
So basically, everything off the original Konami canon from the 8-bit Nintendo, basically.
Yeah. Everything from all the Konami games that started. Whatever the first Konami game was, they had a part in it. At least the club did.
Yeah, I also tried to do a stream like this on Metroid, especially when I heard about Brie Larson wanting to play Samus. Yeah, I know, right?
I need to play more Metroid. I've only gotten through the first one all the way.
My first Nintendo games were Super Mario Duck Hunt. Of course, I had the action pack. It was all one cartridge. Legend of Zelda, Kid Icarus, Metroid, and I think Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Those were the first few I had, and then Final Fantasy and Castlevania 1 and 2. I think I also got the next year I got Super Mario 1 and 2 and Zelda 2. But that's and then I think at the same time with those Castlevania 3 was coming out, so that showed up too under the tree.
Sounds like a good Christmas present to me.
Oh,
Santa
yeah.
must love you.
Santa spoiled the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
You mentioned Kid Icarus. That was one that I enjoyed as a kid too.
Yeah, I really like that. That was hard as freaking nails. Oh, I thought Castlevania was hard.
Yeah, both challenging.
Yeah, I always live by this. I don't know about you, Loki, but There's hard, and then there's 8-bit Nintendo hard.
Well, Castlevania was unique in the fact that you didn't die as soon as you got touched by something. Not a lot of games back then had a life bar. You got hit by something, that was usually it. That was it. You had to start over, however many lives you had. That's what you had. Castlevania wasn't like that, though. You had a life bar. You had so many hits you could take. That was a big thing back then.
I gotta answer this question. Didn't everybody try to shoot the dog at least at one point in time in Duck Hunt?
Everybody tried to shoot the dog.
Anybody who says they didn't try to shoot the dog for laughing at them
I would never shoot at a dog.
as lying to. Yeah.
Not a real one.
I did not shoot the dog.
No real dogs were hurt during the making of this, I swear.
That Duck Hunt dog doesn't he? I think he shows up in Smash Brothers now.
Really? Oh yeah, Smash Brothers Ultimate. Of course, everybody's in Ultimate. Even Simon Belmont.
Yeah, even Simon.
Yes, this franchise has been around so much it even gets cameos in other games.
Do you remember does either one of y'all remember the Nintendo Power cartoon that had Simon Belmont in it, and he was like a complete moron?
Oh
Captain-
yeah.
Oh yes, I remember what it's called. It's called Captain Ed, the Game Master.
Yeah, and Simon was like some kind of narcissist that would
Yes,
look in the mirror and comb his hair.
He
Yep.
was vain as hell, wasn't he?
He was an idiot too. Yeah.
He was a vain, blithering idiot. It's like, man, boy, did you like? It's like somebody really didn't know Simon Belmont.
My favorite part of that cartoon show was that every time Mega Man would show up, he would say, "Mega high."
Well, back then, though, Simon was the one that went and dug up pieces of Dracula just so he could kill him again.
That's what I was about to say. Simon Belmont didn't have to deal with Dracula once. He dug him up just to make sure he was good and dead.
Gathered all those parts and threw them into a fire for the easiest Dracula battle there is.
Oh my gosh, that was the easiest Dracula battle in the history of Castlevania, wasn't it? Simon's Quest. The end.
But getting to it is the hard part, I guess.
Yeah, getting to it's the hard part.
Who would have thought you'd have to have that red crystal and literally bang your head against that cliff?
I wish they had made more in that style, because that kind of led with those quasi RPG elements to Symphony of the Night, I think.
Yep. I agree with that. Yeah, it did. And Symphony of the Night, to me, Symphony of the Night's like the all-time best Castlevania game, to me anyway. Even though you've got Richter and you only control Richter for all of 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's just a classic game. It's the masterpiece. It's the high watermark for Castlevania.
I'd have to agree with that. I am definitely down with that idea. But what has to be both of your favorite moments in all of Castlevania, the entire franchise?
I think my very favorite moment was when I finally beat the original game, and I was like in my early 20s. I had to practice it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, that probably was a relief. Loki?
Oh, what is a man but a miserable pile of secrets? But enough talk. How about you?
Oh, Symphony of the Night, of course.
The opening of Symphony of the Night. I can't tell you how many times I watched that opening.
I can't tell you how many times I actually played that damn opening.
So it's just It's one of those. It's one of those just iconic things in gaming that'll never go away. And I think if I had to pick anything else besides that from Symphony, it would be the end of Lords of Shadow when what's his name, Patrick Stewart's character
Zobek.
Zobek is in the steeple, and Gabriel come after he says Gabriel, yeah, Gabriel. And he goes, I am not Gabriel, I am Dracul. You're like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that reveal was quite amazing.
That was insane. It was one of those crazy moments. That was a hell of a twist. I'd have to go with that one myself. That was a hell of a reveal.
And
Tell you
then,
the truth, I thought he was going to be Death, but no. To be honest, I thought he was going to be Death, but no.
Well, what's her name? Carmela. You do know that's his castle. That's Dracula's castle. It's Frankenstein's castle, but he inherits it after he kills Carmela. And she tells him exactly what he's going to be. If you listen to what she tells him, she is telling him you are going to be Dracula. So you kind of get a hint. Even though she doesn't call him Dracula, she tells him his future, and you can either believe it or not, but she is being prophetic in that dialogue of what he is going to become. So you get a chance to peek behind the curtain right there before the game's even over and know what's coming. None of the pieces really fall into place until you see that ending.
I think the real crowning moment for me actually was seeing Carmela after all these years, not seeing Carmela, her full form in a single Castlevania game. You finally, in Lords of Shadow, get to see Carmela. Because she is mentioned in Castlevania 2, and you get to fight her mask, which is a horrid fight. I thought it was absolutely stupid. But anyway.
yeah, I know what you're saying there, though, because she was traditionally portrayed just as a mask. And then it shows her more in Lords of Shadow.
It shows her true form.
In Lords of Shadow 2, she comes back as well. You see her human form. In the original Lords of Shadow, she's wearing that it's like a nun frock, but it's open in the middle. So she's almost like half naked.
Yeah, kind of like the J-Lo dress, the green J-Lo dress.
Oh yeah, it's just like that.
Woo.
Yeah, and then you see her in that different outfit in 2, and she's more in line with her human form. It's interesting that she's supposed to be this great warrior of light, and all three of them were. And basically, that's something else they took in Star Trek as well. When you see Skin of Evil, all those people left that planet and ascended to a higher plane of existence, and all the crap that was left behind is what that monster is. Well, that's what basically they are in Lords of Shadow. They're the crap that their human bodies were left with when they ascended to heaven.
Now, here's what I find interesting. I find really interesting, but it's kind of outside of the Castlevania spectrum. So bear with me. The original Castlevania is based off of most of the stuff is based off of Universal movie monster movies and actually Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book. But Carmela, on the other hand, the book Carmela is actually even mentioned is actually predates Bram Stoker's Dracula. So, and it talks about Carmela is a I think, a lesbian vampire. And I'm like, okay. But it was hard to actually get an actual copy of it because the original author was actually a French author. So it was hard to actually get a physical copy in English. But I finally managed to find me one on Kindle, and I'm reading through it right now before I even came on here with you two. And this is an actually interesting read.
Oh, so you did find a translated version.
Yes, I did. And Purple's got the name for us right there. Thank you, Purple. I had a hard time. Sheridan. Yeah, I can't even. I don't even want to try. I will butcher the purple crap out of that. No pun intended, Purple Valkyrie. You guys find that interesting?
I do. How many pages is that book?
Shit, where'd I put it? Oh, I'd have to.
I'm pretty sure the Hammer Horror, old British studio, adapted the novel into some film or another. Or there have been film adaptations of Carmilla. I think.
They changed her. They changed her backstory a little bit in Lords of Shadow and gave her like a daughter-like figure instead of a lover.
Oh,
It's supposed to be that little girl that's in her castle that's a vampire in Lords of Shadow is supposed to be her lover. It's just they redid that a little bit and made it a daughter that she found and turned into a vampire.
that kind of makes sense.
The original idea was to have it be her lover and have her turn Gabriel, and then of course Gabriel kills her after that and doesn't want to. He wants to be the only one. He wants to be the strongest.
The desire for power is what truly made Drac. I get it. I get it.
It's interesting that they did that with, making it a daughter, because that's kind of what happens in that book series or film, the Interview with the Vampire, where Tom Cruise and what's his name, Brad Pitt, they adopt a vampire daughter.
Claudia.
Yeah. She's played by Kirsten Dunst.
Yep. She wants some more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What actually drove you guys to the Castlevania series? Like as a whole? Is it the action? Is it the gameplay? What do you think drove you to the Castlevania series?
I think what appeals to me is that darkness, that sense of gothic horror. But none of that really factored in as a kid. I think, I grew to appreciate those motifs in film and literature more as an adult. So I think the music and the gameplay were phenomenal to experience as a youngster.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. It was the music. When you walk into a game store and they've got that original 8-bit soundtrack playing, you know exactly what it is, and you immediately appreciate it. The gameplay, the difficulty, figuring out like the little secrets, all of that. And thank you, Lady Mist. I love this avatar too. Alucard's always been my absolute favorite character in the Castlevania series.
He is a well-made character. I do have to say that. He's not just some placeholder character. He does really and truly have development.
I love Alucard too. And did you guys know that Alucard is Dracula spelled backwards?
Yeah, I
Just
think we already
a
covered that.
little bit of trivia for those of you that missed that part.
You're not going to let that one go, are you?
I just think it's really neat.
I think it's funny that Dracula stems from Dracul, which is really dragon, which is what the Vlad Tepes the Third was really called. His dad was the first Dracul. So actually, Dracula was what Vlad Tepes the Third actually was. He was son of Dracul.
Vlad the Impaler, the historical figure.
Yes. Indeed.
There was a documentary I saw years ago that talked about he had led his people into a battle. I don't remember who it was against, but he had received a head wound and he almost died, but he was in bed for days. And when he woke up, he was extremely pale white, and they thought, of course, that he had somehow beaten death. And when the rumors of that started, it fueled his mystery that this was a man who beat death, that this is a man who survived a deadly wound and came back. And of course, he was very pale because of blood loss. And, being in a coma for as long as he was in. And I was like, that's really interesting way to look at it if that's what actually happened. Because, of course, we don't know. We weren't there. We didn't see it. But it would explain why there was this air of undeath, of being undead around him, that he could survive something like that and come back and still be himself.
Yeah, that is really interesting unless he actually did do something unholy and unnatural.
Yeah, I mean, he killed a lot of people, but in the name of his country, I guess. So I wonder if one would. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Dracula, the historical figure, but theoretically, one could argue that he was a patriot for his country.
Oh, there's a reason why they called him the Impaler.
Yeah, I think we know the story. Didn't he impale his victims on spikes? It was basically and made a forest out of them.
Yep.
It was an intimidation tactic to ward off potential invaders.
Yep, a totem, his own little forest of totems.
But I mean, in medieval times, were there other similar atrocities committed by monarchs?
Not even just monarchs. Even the Vikings had their own rituals.
Yeah.
Loki, you want to share?
Yeah, of course, everybody knows about the Blood Eagle. Nigel, do you know about the Blood Eagle?
Actually, I'm not familiar.
Okay, so this was a rare thing. Basically, it was reserved for someone who they really, really, really hated, or it was reserved for a warrior figure that had dishonored himself. Now, the idea behind this is if you scream out at any point during this, basically you're stuck on the mortal plane. You cannot ascend to Valhalla. You can't go into heaven. But if you can, which I don't see anybody ever actually accomplishing this, then it guarantees you a place in Valhalla at Odin's table. What they would do is they would open up your back. They would slit open your back, crack your ribs open, pull your ribs out, and then pull your lungs out while you're alive, while you're experiencing this. And they would stretch your back skin all the way out and hang you up, and it looked like you had wings. like you had the wings of an eagle. They called it the blood eagle.
Oh, that is chilling.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They'd crack your ribs, and the whole time you'd be alive and awake. And by the time they pulled your lungs out, that was it. You were gone. As soon as they touch your lungs, you're dead. But if you could survive it and not cry out or whimper or cry out in pain, then basically it guaranteed you a spot at Odin's table. You'd proved your worth as a warrior.
Makes the Iron Maiden look like a pansy punishment.
Yep, those were some savage times, and Vlad the Impaler just kind of fits right in with all that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Indeed he does. Indeed he does.
I mean, it was only until recently that hangings went away. And what do we have now? Lethal injection, I guess?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Nancy brings up
burning people at the stake on Twitter.
That's true. There's cancel culture.
Yeah, there's cancel culture.
Little less bloody, a lot more semi-peaceful, a lot of passive aggressive too. But yes, Vlad Dracul Tepesh. That's the right spelling too. Nice.
I have a question for each of you.
Oh shoot.
So we discussed what your earliest recollection was of Castlevania. What was your most recent game that you remember playing, and how long ago of Castlevania?
I am in the middle of replaying Lords of Shadow at the moment. So I every once in a while I get to play something I want to, and I have some time. I am through the first act of Lords of Shadow again for like the 10th time.
Excellent. What difficulty mode?
Whatever the norm is. I don't think you have one on that one, do you?
You had like 4. I think there's like 3 or 4 different difficulties.
I always choose the easiest, and I can barely make it through still.
Whatever the norm is, whatever the normal one is.
I usually pick the normal one, but I did try it on hard, and man, that temple with the swamp beast, that was a pain in the ass on hard.
Well, if you don't know how to fight him, even on normal, it can be a pain in the ass.
Well, at least on hard, you get all your stuff from when you previously played.
I think my favorite section of Lords of Shadow is when you meet up with Zobek and you're fighting the ghouls in the cemetery. That's a fun section to play.
When you get the holy water for the first time, you start messing around with the holy water.
Yeah. I also enjoy that werewolf battle. That's a good one.
That's a good point, Jennifer. It's like a Caligula, just in a different way. Of course, the geography and totally, but the bat poop crazy. Totally loved every second of what he was doing.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate trait of human history that so many sociopaths end up with all that power, and maybe that's how they got there. I don't know.
The biggest, the baddest, or sometimes just plain the craziest.
What was your most recent playthrough, Aster?
My recent playthrough, I'd have to say, was, I think my last was actually the original Castlevania for the Anniversary Collection before I got hacked.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that Anniversary Collection. I wish they would have included, or if they make a second edition, like all the Metroidvanias in it, that would be so awesome.
I did buy both of those collections, the one with Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood, and Dracula X all in one.
Oh yeah, that's also a good compilation.
I just don't like the fact that they changed the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. What's the reason behind that? That makes no sense to me.
They weren't happy with it. Konami was never happy with the voiceovers at the time. Games weren't like really known for being that, in depth at speaking roles then. So my understanding was that they were never happy with the dialogue. It wasn't translated correctly, and they wanted to go with a correctly translated dialogue with different voice actors. They did the same thing with Resident Evil. When they remade and made that HD remake of Resident Evil, they changed all the dialogue because it was campy ass dialogue.
Yeah.
But that was the charm back then.
For sure.
But I still like my jelly sandwich.
You want a jelly sandwich.
I'm glad that they have Rondo of Blood in English now, just because I lack the skills to understand Japanese. But I do think that they never should have taken away that camp. The way that they had originally recorded it was the best way for Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not like they went out and cast like A-listers or anyone that's even known as Patrick Stewart. They didn't get any names for the redub that I'm aware of.
That'd be cool if they actually contacted Matt Mercer, because I know Matt Mercer does some good voiceover work, especially for Funimation.
Well, I hate to say this because I know you're about to do open lines, but I have to go now.
All right.
I really appreciate you having me on for the last hour, and it's been nice to speak with you as well, Loki.
It was a pleasure, Nigel. Thank you, man. If you ever want to come on the show in the morning, let me know, brother.
That sounds good. I will take you up on that someday. Hope you. I'll still try to get in the chat and contribute. But
before you go, I have one more thing to say.
No, not that again. Not my
get the mallet, Nigel.
Not my doppelganger. It's my evil twin. It's the doppelganger boss that I have to fight in many of these Castlevania games.
You won't make it through unless you be true to yourself.
Oh no. With that, I've lost all hope. I'm going to give up the quest now.
Oh no.
Just kidding. But I might take a night off tonight. Pretty tired. Okay, well, goodbye everyone in the chat. And thanks again, gentlemen.
Take it easy, Nigel.
Yep, bye-bye.
Later, Gator. Thanks for coming. So, and now we're going to open this up, and we're going to have them share the chat, come up and share their experiences with the franchise now, if that's cool with you, Loki.
Oh, that's cool with me, man.
There's the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come up and share their Castlevania experiences with us and chat with us, it'd be great. Somebody? Anybody? Nobody? What a horrible night to have a curse. So, what do you got planned tomorrow, Loki?
We've got a Valhalla bonfire and a movie watch party.
Ooh, is that just for the Loki's army, or what? Who's on that, or is it just any members?
The Discord bonfire is for anyone that's part of the Patreon. The movie watch party will be for everyone.
Oh shit, I'm no longer part of the Patreon, so I guess I'm kind of screwed, aren't I?
I didn't know you weren't a part of the Patreon anymore.
No, I most of my, I think
If you're on the
I don't know.
Discord, if you're on the Discord, you're on the Discord.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely on your Discord. That's for sure. I was just wondering the wither twos and the Y force of that.
Yeah, if you're on the Discord, you're invited to the bonfire.
Okay, rock on. I guess I'm still in. Yay!
Yeah, you're in the
And,
Patreon. You're in the Patreon.
and we got somebody. Hello. How you doing? Hello, medicated.
Hi, it's me, Nancy.
Ah, you're a sneaky one.
I know that's the new guy.
That's a nice mask. What did you have any experiences with the Castlevania franchise that you want to share? Nancy, you there? Ground control to Major Nance. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Cut out
Anything?
on me now.
We heard something. Um, no, you. I like Chester said. He's like, no, you don't want to hear from me. I've never played Castlevania. What is this? This is the Castlevania discussions. Now we're opening it up to opening the lines up to the chat to see if for the chat to tell their experiences with the franchise and what they liked about it and whatnot. Repo Wheels, welcome. I don't think I've actually seen you here before.
Hi.
Hey, so do you have any experiences with the Castlevania franchise you want to share with us?
Actually, I do, and obviously I cut out when I was almost, and didn't realize it till like I was almost halfway through with the story. Actually, I have an experience that I haven't shared with most people that I'm going to bring out in the open. It's a good night for it. I actually participated in a blood ritual.
Oh,
Yeah, and in a undisclosed location, which I will not say what state I was in or who I was with, but they were pretty prominent people, and I was just curious, so I went, and Craig, did it blow my mind, man. It was a trip. It was definitely a trip. They were so it was kind of a mixture. How it reminded me of more like the druid type robes, where they would stand around. Yeah. And they would participate in a blood sacrifice, not a human, okay, which was pretty brutal. And take the dagger, and the dagger was given to the high priestess, who then passed it from cup to cup as they clanked their cup. And then they took and that was as the blood was draining from the sacrificial animal of sorts.
well, this.
Yeah, it was pretty trippy, and it was like also very precise. It was like it was only done at a very precise part of the year when certain planets and moons would line up. It was also done at very precise time, and each time they clicked their cup, it was in sequence with how many drips of blood came out of the animal into the chalice. Okay, so
I
after
have
that was done, it was a very long process, but it was like
sounds like
I've
an
got,
arduous process.
oh my god, I got like my whole skin is like creeping out just remembering it, you know.
I'm getting
But
chills off of this one.
yeah, and, and it was not so much as to um absorb the dark powers, bwahaha, as it was to absorb the beast that they sacrificed, because what it was representing is, and I found this in one of the Nosh too recently.
Good day,
Um,
bud.
to Because if you devour the beast, then you become the beast. But if the beast devours you, the beast becomes you. And I didn't really kind of understand that. But since they were doing it against a person, an enemy, they couldn't use that person, but they had to use that person's animal. So they could put their energy into whatever madness they were invoking on their enemy. Because in the olden days, how they were explaining it to me, they would use a child, the first child. They would sacrifice the first child of their enemy and do all this, drink the blood of that, and then their enemy would become theirs, okay, under their control. So, but as the times go on, because this was just like 15 years ago, you know, it's very hard for people to get away with killing babies. You know what I'm saying? So they would use like the animal, but they were it was very sick. It was very twisted. And it was creepy, but it was just like one of those creepy things that you just couldn't turn away from, because you couldn't believe that what you were seeing and that people were still doing this kind of shit, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a little out there, but how does, other than the historical things of Vlad the Impaler, how does that tie in?
Because drinking the blood that's making them, it goes back to the blood of your enemy, that you consumed your enemy.
Oh, okay. I
What's her
guess.
face that bathed herself in right?
Oh,
Who bathed herself in the
Elizabeth
blood?
Bathory, yes.
Yes,
Which actually
yes.
she is even referenced in the Castlevania series as well. I believe it's I think Orchard of Ruin. I think she teams up with Bronner and tries to resurrect Dracula, which I actually have Bronner's protagonist, or is it protagonist or antagonist? I always get them confused. Loki,
Hmm.
can you help a man out?
Which one?
Okay, I always get them confused. Is it the hero is the protagonist or antagonist? I always get them confused.
Bro, I think.
Protagonist.
It's protagonist.
Antagonist is your villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anti.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah. So it does go back to how the Impaler, like what I wrote, you know, how he would do the banquet as he would sit there and watch them being impaled and like, you know, falling on the stakes and you know, dying in front of him. He took pleasure in that. And then now I don't know if it's true or not, but it was said that he would drink their blood, and that's where the one of the rumors about the vampires drinking the blood, blah 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 blah, to sustain their life, because of the head wound injury and all that. And then in another part of the world, because that was Romania, if I'm wasn't he? Yeah, he was in Romania. So the other one, Transylvania, but that's kind of part of that area, but it's separate, right?
Yeah, Romania is a part of Transylvania. Yes.
Okay. So then was it Bulgaria? There's like three of them that are connected that have like three different names for their Dracula. That's like one story, but when they got separated, it became different because
Yes, it
do you know
became.
what I'm saying?
Yes, I remember this. The Slavic. It went into
Yes.
Slavic myth. It went into. Oh fuck! I used to remember because it's the same with the whole Baba Yaga myth.
So they took that. That's what these certain people were taking that, and they were trying to make it as real or as true to way back in the day as they possibly could, without breaking any laws per se. But then I've also heard of actual people that actually, like let themselves be drained and have other people drink their blood and stuff, from the same group of people that went on their own and did like more sadistic friggin' bullshit, So yeah, that was back in the day when I was searching for truths. So I was like into like every kind of religion and every kind of belief that I can get my hands onto, because I wanted to know the truth of what the F was really going on. So yeah. So just another crazy thing I did. But I did not partake in that at all. I just observed, which was, believe me, I'm still to this some days. Yeah, still to this day, man, I'm just like, Lord, I repent, man, of even being in that room. Like sometimes I think, like, what did I bring upon myself just being there, So yeah. But anyways.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Asker, I have got to jump, brother. You take care. Thank you so much for the invite, man. It was so enjoyable watching or talking Castlevania with you, man.
I'd love to do this again if you're down.
Next week, I'm mobile, so I can't do it next week. But let me know in the future, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure out something. But I was really going to go into the whole Elizabeth Bathory and the history of that and how that tied into the Castlevania lore. Apparently, she was helping Bronner in Portrait of Ruin to actually engulf the soul of Dracula.
I did not know that.
And it was Jonathan Morris, which is actually my avatar right now. He was one of the main protagonists. And then there's another. I got the other avatar right here. Hold on a second. There was Charlotte Allen, a young sorceress, quite the prodigy in her time. She very prominent in her magical skills. They both team up and go together and actually fight into the castle with all these paintings that teleport them to different places and different time periods. to vanquish the power of the castle and defeat Bronner.
Heck yeah, we will have to go over it. Because I haven't played that one. It's one of the few I haven't played.
It was one of the DS games. It was
Probably
the
why.
DS games were Dawn of Sorrow. No. Yes, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia, in that order.
Well, I will do my homework for next time, brother.
That's okay. You did fine. Oh, you did just fine. I'm glad. I was actually glad to actually have you on. You should have heard me in the house. I'm like, oh my god, I got Stone Loki on. I was
Oh,
fucking
please.
nerding out.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Well, it was a
Yeah,
pleasure.
and my ear rang for weeks about how he's coming on my stream. He was so excited. So that's so brilliant of you to show up, sir.
Oh, Haster's a brother. We're all in the same community. We're all in this community, and we all love what we love, and it was an honor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm even stuttering saying that, so you know it's.
I'll catch you next time, brother. Everyone take care. Have a great one.
Take care. Be safe.
Nice meeting you, Medicated.
It's Nancy V Star.
Oh, it's V-Star. Oh, it's V-Star. Holy shit. Oh, hello, V-Star. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. Holy shit.
She does this.
Well, that makes more sense now.
I only do it. Darth is my son from other parents. Okay, so I do it to mess with him constantly.
She messes
That's
with me
brilliant.
really hard. She's not
That is
honestly a
brilliant.
red. She's the keeps me psychologically on my toes.
That is brilliant. It was good hanging with you, V-Star.
It was good hanging with you too, brother.
Y'all take it easy.
You
Yeah.
too.
Thank you, brother, and stay safe, man.
You too,
Yeah.
brother.
Oh,
So that's like really. That's why I kind of like, and I've never seen the Castlevania until lately. So, that's why I was just like, wow, I love that. And the Catheo, like when I met you, how they're like so true to like these stories, and they're adding like these and their characters, and you can actually look up these people who actually existed, and they're putting them into these games that I just think that's brilliant. You know?
yeah. I think it's really awesome, and I was gonna go back to this character that I actually have on my avatar right now, Shanoa. Shanoa is actually one of the ones in Order of Ecclesia. She was. I'll probably pick up on her probably next time in our Castlevania discussions. I hope to do some more of these. I really do because I had so much fun doing this, and especially the voices. Oh my gosh, the voice for Nigel's clone. Oh man, that was fun.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, you gotta check the replay on this bad boy.
I'm going to. I thought it was on at 10. That was my bad. And so, but anyways, so are you continuing on with your stream, or?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna open it up and do my normal free speech sort of thing now, since I'm not getting any bites for Castlevania experience. That's for sure. But thank you all for coming. It really means a lot. It like this is one of the first big actual things that I actually really and truly prep for, and besides the Lovecraft discussions, I put a lot of work into this. There was a lot of passion, a lot of love here. Hell, I even got a second background. You guys want to see it? I'll put it on the overlay so we can actually let's see. Where are my damn overlays? Oh, here it is. Here's the other one. Yeah, it was the one for the Castlevania Netflix trailer. I thought this one was pretty cool. This was the secondary choice. But I'm probably going to have a heck of a lot more to choose from next time. So I thank everyone for coming. This means a lot to me. Castlevania has been a big part of my life. It means a lot more to me than any normal franchise. Everybody's like got their Marios and their Zeldas. No, I'm a Castlevania fan. I've ble- I've I've suffered with these characters.
Mhm.
Well, crap! I didn't mean to get all. I didn't mean to make everybody cry, but yeah, I've seen the struggles, and it kind of felt like I was actually there for a little bit. Even though you could probably whip through the first Castlevania game in maybe a half an hour if you're good. I think the speed run record is like 12 minutes or something. A little under 13 minutes for the original Castlevania. Yes, I've even looked up that. I can understand the whole Mass Effect trilogy. I played the first three, and I kind of felt robbed on the Mass Effect trilogy, especially the third one. It just it felt like all your hard work was like for naught, for absolutely nothing, and all those choices you made through all the entire Mass Effect series didn't mean a thing. I know how you feel. Yeah, I played that one too. It was whoa. Hey everyone, how you doing tonight? Sorry, wrong button. Yeah, I was gonna get into this fella a lot more, but I figured I'd save him for a little bit.
Who's
So
that?
this is Julius Belmont.
Okay, so that's his sign underneath. Is that his symbol?
That is his name, and that the I think I actually got the symbol here somewhere of the Belmont clan. It was actually on the Castlevania miniseries, but it was even revealed in the games even before that. And oh, you and my brother would get along so well, Purple Valkyrie. One of my brother's favorite series is the Legacy of Kain series. He loves the Legacy of Kain and Soul Reaver games. Another dark series of games that I liked was on the PlayStation. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it, but has anybody ever heard of Nightmare Creatures?
Yeah, my son used to play that. That and Soul Reaver and all those. Yeah.
Symphony of the Night is your favorite too? Oh man, what man, if you want to come up and talk, by all means, Angelus Draven, come on up and talk about your experiences with Castlevania. That's kind of what I opened it up for.
Okay, I'm going to dip down because I don't know anything about any of that. So I'm going to go in the chat.
Oh, Okay, I thought I actually did something, and then she just whoop. Yeah, that sounds like a fun topic. Maybe we can talk about that a little further. Yes, nightmare creatures. Somebody, thank you. Oh my gosh, somebody remembers nightmare creatures. This is great. Believe it or not, that's actually kind of it's weird. That's how I actually found out about Rob Zombie and White Zombie and all that. I didn't really get into Rob Zombie's music until Nightmare Creatures, and then I just literally went down a Rob White Zombie rabbit hole for like about a year. I mean, if anybody wants to come up, that'd be nice. Yeah, I think that'd be cool, Purple. That'd be awesome. But now that we got all the I think I'm gonna just wrap this up tonight. I'm gonna leave on a high note. This was fun. This was amazing. You take everybody take care. Have a nice sleep. Be safe. Stay awesome. And if you're a Castlevania fan, keep on whipping them whip wielders and fight on. Cause Nigel's gonna need some help. Let's be there for him. You better get there quick, Nigel. Otherwise, Dracula will win. Oh, shut up already. Damn. All right, guys. Have a good one. It may be a nice night to actually have a curse tonight. Darth Haster out.